Hey, what is up guys? My name is True Underdog, and today I'll be discussing how I believe Juri will play in Street Fighter V. She has already been confirmed as a DLC character, so let's go ahead and talk about how I think she will play. Now obviously, this is all just an educated guess, but I love me some Juri, and she seems like she'll fit very well in Street Fighter V, so I have a pretty good idea of how she's gonna play. So first off, let's talk about the big stuff. What's her V skill gonna be? So I think her V skill is gonna be this, her counter. So for any of you dogs who aren't familiar, the light version sends her forward, which is a great way to punish projectiles. The medium version sends her backward, which is a good way to stay at full screen and continue zoning, and it worked especially good against jump-ins. Whereas the heavy version sends her straight up, which is great if you want to follow up with a neutral attack. Whereas the EX version was very interesting. The EX version allowed you to choose which way she went. This includes diagonal directions, so you could go up forward, up back, or just forward, or even straight up. You had free reign over which direction you wanted to go with either the D-pad or the fight stick. Most dogs play on a fight stick when using Juri. I'm one of the few that chooses not to. Mainly because I'm just too stubborn to learn a fight stick. So I hope that in Street Fighter V, the V skill will allow you to choose which way you go as well. So in other words, it'll always function like the EX version. You'll be able to push medium punch and medium kick, and then hold which direction you want to go. That would be a dream come true for me if that's how the V skill worked in Street Fighter V. But right now, I'm just really hopeful. Now, as far as her V trigger, I think that's pretty obvious too. I am almost certain that it's going to be her Ultra 1. Because this Ultra combo already acts just like a V trigger state. It allows her to chain all of her normal attacks into each other, which is pretty nuts. You can do some pretty crazy combos with that shit. So you can do crazy stuff like that, right? Just tons of fun with her. You can also combo after her overhead, which makes her scarier. Although I can't do it, I'm not that skilled. Now, I know what you're all thinking. What about her critical art? Now honestly, my first guess would be her Ultra 2, which is this. Although it could easily be her Super as well in this game. I'm not sure which one it's going to be in Street Fighter V. I would honestly prefer the Super only because her Ultra 2 is next to useless a lot of the time. It's very hard to combo into, and the hitbox ain't that great. You would think it would be great because it looks like it has a huge hitbox, but it actually doesn't, and it actually trades a lot more than you would think. It loses to a lot of stuff because it has very few invincibility frames. So I would honestly prefer her Super, because her Super fits a lot better. It's quite easy to combo into, right? It comes out much more naturally, and I just think it would be a better fit. So I hope her critical art is her Super. That would be awesome. Alrighty, so what about her normal attacks? So I've been thinking about this for a little bit, and I think that for the most part they're going to be her far standing normals. So light punch will be this, medium punch will probably be that, although the close standing version is pretty damn good too. Both versions are pretty damn good, I'd be okay with either. And as far as light kick, I think it's the same, crouching light kick the same. These are all pretty damn good normals. Crouching medium kick, crouching heavy kick. Crouching medium punch is a pretty decent anti-air. Crouching heavy punch is a fantastic anti-air. I hope we keep that for sure. That's an incredible move. Really forces your opponent to not jump as much. The only thing I'm a bit iffy about is her standing medium kick. Because this is a pretty good poke, right? But up close, it hits twice, which makes it really good for her Ultra 1. And if that ends up being her V trigger, then this would be very useful. Same goes for her heavy kick. Up close, it hits twice, which makes it great for V trigger, right? But far away, it hops off the ground, which makes her airborne, so she can't be thrown, and it also avoids low attacks. And has tons of range. Look at this thing, it just sticks it to people, right? So I'm not sure which normal they're gonna go with. I would probably prefer this one, and then just have the double hitting ones be a command normal instead. Because right now, Juri only has one command normal, and it's her overhead, which is just forward medium kick. And I am almost certain that that will make it in. If it doesn't, then I don't know what Capcom's thinking. That's her only overhead, and it's quite good. Okay, so what about her jumping normals? I almost forgot. So jumping light kick, decent cross up, pretty ambiguous. I imagine that'll be the same. Her jumping medium kick I hope she keeps, because I always loved how Juri has a pretty damn good cross up. Certain characters, especially female characters, don't have very good cross ups in this game. They have to use light kick, which is very hard to combo after, you know? I mean, look at this. You gotta do it super late. Whereas medium kick, very doable. Very doable. Her heavy kick, pretty good. It's got decent range. You never really use it, so I don't care what it is. Now, her jumping heavy punch is actually quite good because it has a huge vertical hitbox, right? That's what makes it scary. Why is it scary? I guess I should explain that. If I do it early, not a cross-up. If I choose to delay it, totally a cross-up. And that's what makes that attack so scary. It's very ambiguous and the opponent can't really tell which way they need to block. It's more of a learning thing. Also, her jumping medium punch is great because it juggles the opponent out of the air. It causes what's called a soft knockdown, so they fall out of the sky and you can extend your combo. Let me go ahead and show what that looks like. So I hope she keeps that. Which reminds me, her close standing heavy punch is actually really good for extending air combos and for comboing into her super. I'm not sure how they're going to handle that. It's actually quite good. That's another question. I wonder if that'll be a command normal or if they'll keep that. It really depends on what heavy kick ends up being. Because standing heavy punch also can go either way. Man, that's a tough one, guys. I don't know which one they're going to choose. I do love this. It's really great after juggling in the air. It's great for extending combos. I love it. Alrighty, enough of that stuff. Let's get into the most important shit, her special moves. So I think the pinwheel is going to be mostly the same, although I wouldn't mind if light pinwheel became safe. Since a lot of characters have more safe options in Street Fighter V, I wouldn't mind if light pinwheel was actually safe. It's a pretty damn good move. Now, medium pinwheel causes a hard knockdown, so I love that. It also does decent damage. It's the main one you combo into as well. Now, the heavy version does the most damage, hits the most times, and also causes a hard knockdown, but it's harder to combo into, and it's super unsafe. So is the medium version. So I think those special moves are fine as they stand. We already said the counter is going to be her V skill most likely, so no reason to even bring that up. Now, what about her fireballs? I'm a bit curious about her fireballs, because they're pretty straightforward, right? Light version goes low, medium version goes straight, heavy version is an anti-air. And you can actually store all three, even on a controller, right? Pretty easy stuff. However, I'm wondering if they'll change how you store the fireballs in Street Fighter V, since a lot of mechanics became easier in that game, such as command throws. Instead of being 360 motions, they are now half circle back motions, which cuts the input in half and makes it a lot easier. So I'm curious about that. I'm wondering how that will work out. Maybe if you just do it at all, she'll hold it. Maybe the EX version will be her only way of doing it instantly. And she has 3 different EX versions too, which is nuts. But I've always loved that about her, because you can store one fireball, and then throw one out, and still have it. I've always loved that. Alrighty, so last but not least we have the dive kick. The dive kick can no longer be done while jumping backwards, which makes it a lot more fair. It used to be really dirty because you could jump backwards and do it. That's no longer an option. It has to be straight up or forward. Light version isn't safe, but it's your best option for being safe. Medium version has a better angle, and the heavy version is almost full screen, but not quite. And that's how they work. If you keep pressing kick, it actually juggles, which I love. That move is why I fell in love with this character. It's so sassy, it's got so much personality. Now, if you do the EX version, you can actually combo off the wall. So stuff like that, right? You can even combo into her Ultra too. That's going to be hard to do in the corner though, so let me go ahead and change the spacing a little bit. It's honestly not easy to do at all. Let's see if I can even do it. Well, that works too. That's also a combo. You gotta really wait. That did it. Okay, see, there you go. That's how you combo into her Ultra 2. Her Ultra 2 is quite cinematic, so that is one reason to put it in the game as her critical art, but it's just not that versatile. I really don't like it. I would honestly prefer a more cinematic version of her super. You know, just take this and make it look cinematic. Change the cameras a little bit. That'd be really cool. Change the angles, make it look more dynamic, because that's just way more functional, you know? It's function over fashion, whereas the Ultra 2 is definitely fashion over function. It looks great, but not that versatile. Oops, one last thing. Her neutral jump heavy kick. I really hope this makes it in. This move is godlike, and it goes hand in hand with her counter, which is extremely useful for this move. Because if you go straight up, it hits. If you go up and forward, it'll still hit. Because no matter which direction you go with the counter, the EX version of course, no matter which way you go, it always counts as a neutral jump, so this heavy kick is always available. And this move just has amazing range. It also makes her a lot like Chun-Li, because Chun-Li always had this move. You know, because that's kind of how her design has always been. What if Chun-Li went to the dark side? That's always been Juri's sort of design, and her personality. Alrighty dog, so there you go. Those are my predictions for how Juri's gonna play in Street Fighter V. I hope she ends up playing that way, but like I said before, it's just an educated guess. Alrighty dogs, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like down below. And while you're down there, go ahead and post a comment. Tell me what you think. How do you want Juri to play in Street Fighter V? And if you haven't already, please subscribe for more videos, because we have content on this channel every single week. It is never a dull moment on Underdog Gaming, so make sure to come back next time, and as always, stay underdogs!